Okay, so this question says Rohan plays basketball. During a match, Rohan takes a number of free throws. He scores 70% of his free throws on average. Assume that scoring his free throws are independent events. So find the probability that he scores his first 3 throws. So let's break that down into what they're asking for in terms of probability. So he scores his first 3 throws. So that is a 70% chance, so 0.7. Or 7/10, whatever way you'd like to write it. Okay, so he scores. So if I actually write this out as a sentence, okay, he scores and he scores and he scores. Okay, so in terms of probability, well, what is the probability he scores? It's 7/10. So every time he scores, we are going to look at the probability of 7/10. Okay, what do we do for the word and? We multiply. Okay, so it's 7/10 by 7/10 by 7/10, which is 343 over 1,000. Okay, it then says find the probability that he scores exactly 2 of his first 3 throws. So that means that he has to score twice. Okay, so he could have a scores and scores and then does not score. Okay, now this is going to take me ages to write out. So instead of doing all this, okay, what I can do is I can say either he scores, and then he does not score. Okay. In which case the probability would have been 7/10. 7/10, and then if that's the probability of him scoring, the probability of him not scoring is 3/10. And I would have to multiply those together. Okay, but it's the probability that he scores exactly 2 of his first 3 free throws. It doesn't necessarily talk about in that order. So how many different ways can this be ordered? Well, actually it can be ordered 3 different ways. Okay, he also could score, not score, and then score. Or he could not score and then score and then score. So because there's 3 different ways that this can be arranged, we are going to multiply that answer by 3. Okay? Or if you want to look at it in a different way, instead of multiplying that answer by 3, you can use the word or here, because we know the word or means that we add those probabilities together. Okay, so maybe I'll do that in black. Okay, so that word or means that we can add those different probabilities that we get together. Okay, so they are all going to be the exact same probability because they are all going to be 0.7 by 0.7 by 0.3. But just in different orders. But we know the order of multiplication doesn't matter. Okay, so if you wanted to do it out like that, you would have 7/10 for scoring it, 3/10 for not scoring it, and 7/10 all multiplied together again. And likewise here, 3/10 for not scoring it, 7/10 for scoring it, and 7/10 for scoring it. Okay, so 7/10 by 7/10 by 3/10 is 147 over 1,000. Okay, and we're going to have to multiply that by 3. Okay, so it's what I have here essentially is 147 over 1,000 plus 147 over 1,000 plus 147 over 1,000. Okay, so that's the same as multiplying 147 over 1,000 by 3, which will give us 441 over 1000. Okay, give one reason why scoring his free throws might not be independent events. So remember, independent events are when one event does not affect the other. Okay, so if one event affects the other, then it is not independent. So previous performance levels or like previous practice on his free throws or anything like that affect the future performance on his free throws. Like if you miss a free throw and it's because it went slightly over to the right, then in your next free throw you'll aim it a little bit better. Okay, so previous free throws or previous performance or previous outcomes or anything like that. Okay, so previous outcomes affect future outcomes. Okay, it says the table below shows the number of games in which Rohan scored each of the given number of points. For example, he scored 12 points in 3 games. Work out the mean number of points per game based on the values in the table. Okay, so he has played how many games in total? It doesn't tell us, so it's 4 and 5, so 9, and 4, so 13, 15, 18, 19. So he has played 19 games. Okay, so when I add all of these up, I am expecting to divide by 19. So I'm expecting to be adding 19 things up. Okay, so that means that I will be adding up, well, he got 0 4 times. So I could add together 0 and 0 and 0 and 0 and 0 and 6 and 6 5 times and so on. But obviously that's really time consuming, and we know what is the same as adding things together a number of times, and that is multiplication. So if I want to do this out, okay, well, I know that 0 has been counted 4 times, plus 6 has been counted 5 times, plus 8 is being counted 4 times. Okay, 10 is being counted twice. 12 is being counted 3 times, and 16 is being counted once. Okay, so I am adding 19 things together there so that I get 134 over 19. So 7.05263. And it says to 2 decimal places, so 7.05.